feel about the depiction of black women in reality shows? Seeing how like we always get like, I don't know, like a nasty little,
It's a negative connotation. Say Housewives or one of the other shows, or even just some of your shows where they argue. They're like, oh, look at them, they're being ratchet.
Right, and so Black China made a comment, right, on social media, maybe like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and she posted the Kardashians. And she said, they're all baby mamas. If they were black, they would be considered ghetto. Like, that would be considered ghetto. But since they're not black, it's just like, oh, they just had kids and it didn't work out. But when we have kids and it don't work out, we ghetto.
And to be fair, it's going back to some of the programming that you have done where the women may fight or get into an argument. People are like, oh, it's ratchet. Look at how they make us look. But then they have the reality white counterpart shows. They do the same things. They have tax evasions, cheating on their husbands, firing, using racial slurs and everything else, but they don't get the same labels. So what's your POV on it?
Yeah, no, that's very true. We don't get the same sort of clearance as the white shows do. And the problem is when anybody sees a black woman defend herself, raise her voice, talk in an aggressive manner, she's immediately ratchet. What's funny is I was watching the New York City Housewives, and they have a black housewife named Ebony K. Williams, who is an attorney, and she's also does a lot of TV appearances as well. She had a discussion with her white co-stars. Her white friend 5 minutes earlier stormed down and called them hoes, and she left. True story. She called them hoes. You a hoe, you a hoe, you a hoe. Y'all awesome hoes. And she left. And the white women were like, okay, whatever. So Ebony had a conversation with one of the white cast members, and the white woman said to her, "You're so angry." And she was like, "I'm angry. The white girl just left her 5 minutes ago yelling, kicking and screaming, calling y'all hoes. I'm defending myself, and now I'm angry." So I say that to say that's how America views a black woman who voices her concern. So the stuff that I get is your shows are ratchet. Listen, I know what ratchet is. I know what ratchet is. I'm from Detroit.
Right.
I've seen ratchet.
You know what's ratchet? And you know what? And I am tuned in and buying monthly Zeus motherfucking Network. Baby, that right there, ratchet. And I'm going to take it. I know you can't say it, but I'm going to say it. It is ratchet.
No, and listen, and I know the guy, a black man who owns Zeus. Me and him don't produce the same type of shows.
It's BET Uncut. Like, you know how you have like 106 in Park?
Yeah.
But then at night, like when the TV be on and it's like, you remember the Tip Drill video and swiping down the ass? That's what they're literally, their titties be out and they just be fighting each other.
Really?
Yeah.
I never seen Zeus.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't produce those type of shows. And that's no shade to what those shows are. You do what works for you. At the end of the day, there's clearly an audience for it. I'm not going to judge the audience who watches it. I'm not going to judge the people who choose to fight with a titty out. That's on you. What I am trying to do is show the alternative side, that I like to work with black entrepreneurs. I like to work with black business owners, because I want to show my audience that you can have a great career and a lot of money, but you can also have a fucked up personal life. Yeah. But to be able to showcase that on TV is interesting, because one thing I tell my cast members is, y'all better make some money outside of this show. Use this show as a commercial. Use this show to promote any and everything. The only thing I'm asking for in return is transparency. If you're going through something, just be honest, because the audience needs that. That's why Beyonce did Lemonade. She knew that she could no longer be this secretive private celebrity, because we're not in that world anymore. So she said, let me showcase a side of me that you guys have no idea I'm going through, but I'm going to do it as art. And people bought into it, and they, she's the queen bee.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that for the show that I do.
Well, it is Pride Month. You mentioned you are a gay man. Do you ever think like, okay, I need to create something for the gay community? Is it like a show or something? Because my favorite show, and it's off now, was Pose. And the reason I liked it so much was even though I didn't necessarily identify with any of the characters, it gave me an understanding of a community outside of myself. Now, this is the first time people get to have, in the LGBTQIA plus space, they have healing. But I think in our community, we got an understanding of, to me, I understood ballroom culture, being put out of your house when you come out, just relationships, how they dealt with AIDS from like the 80s to the 90s. And like, I'm able to reference it now, how people show up, proper pronouns and things like that. So I'm like, damn, now the show is gone. And, you know, I know there are a few other shows, but do you feel like, okay, this is the time I want to create something where it's just like they get to show up, if it's a marriage show, a business show, a dating show?
Yeah, no, I did a show called Styling Hollywood for Netflix, which starred Jason Bolden and his husband, Adair Curtis. And I know you're friends with them, Karen. You know,
I did that in one sitting. One sitting, the whole season, one sitting. I'm waiting for season 2, but I did that in one sitting.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. So no, and again, it was a show about these amazing gay Black men who work in Hollywood. One's a fashion stylist. His husband is an interior designer, and they reminded me of myself. And I talk about, again, timing. 2 networks passed on that show before it went to Netflix. So when I say to you, I'm all about the resurrection.
Yeah.
And I'm all about making sure that I just don't give up on something I believe in. And I do believe in producing more shows about gay people. Absolutely. I want more of that. And I'm still going to fight the good fight.
I loved Styling Hollywood. I think they did an amazing show, amazing job on that show. And then even they had like, you know, they brought in all their like celebrity friends. So to see Gabrielle, and she's like, ooh, you see her looking at the price tag. No, honey, put it back.
Put it back. That's me. Put it back.
And that was just like, it felt like an appetizer. I'm like, okay, this was nice. Now, to me, in the climate we're in, people are comfortable. Think back, like when we were growing up, you didn't really see that. Where, okay, let me reference. Say, you remember the Rugrats when we were younger? Okay, so the twins' mom, she's now, like growing up, I used to think she was gay, right? Just how she was and whatever the case may be. But it's like you never really could say it and whatever because she had a husband and things of that nature. But now, Nickelodeon's cool with her being gay because of the climate we're in. So I'm assuming back then when we were younger, it wasn't okay. But in this climate, it's okay to be who you are, show up as who you want. So that's why I was like, okay, I wonder if Carlos has more programming coming out that we can tune into.
Yes. No, I'm constantly working and developing and creating, and stay tuned.